Hi, Joe. It's very nice to see you again. Could you please just introduce yourself for us, and maybe share a little bit about your background, particularly what experiences might kind of equip you to understand trauma-informed practice? And then, if you can, also just share something that maybe you love or you're proud of about the work that you do.
Yep, big start. But
Yeah.
thank you, Erin. So I'm Jo Clarke. I'm the service manager at Dubbo Family Daycare, where I've been the service manager and the nominated supervisor for the past 8 years. So a little bit about me. I'm nearly up to 30 years of experience within the early childhood sector. In long day care and family daycare. I've also had a stint in all of that with DCJ as a child protection and out of home care caseworker. So I've had that mixture of the two worlds of, what is early childhood and, what is working with lots of little people with trauma and all of that sort of stuff, which I think has shaped my understanding of how to work with little people with trauma-informed practices. One thing I'm really, really proud of is I am proud of our family daycare sector. I am proud of our educators and how we are a small but amazingly mighty group of educators and individuals who are doing an amazing job every day, but especially right now. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, thanks, Jo. Thanks for that intro.
That's all right.
Gorgeous. So yes, very well equipped to be able to chat about kind of trauma-informed practice and what that looks like, both at a ground level and kind of in a system space as well.
Yeah.
So brilliant. And we're very lucky to have you. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So next, I'm wondering if maybe you could paint a bit of a picture for us about what trauma-informed practice looks like in a family daycare setting in particular.
Yep.
So even if you have an example from your work, that'd be incredible.
Yep. So I suppose the one example that sticks to mind, and I'll share it. It's quite a long story, but I'll share the story of it.
We love a story. Yes.
I'm a big storyteller. Anyone who knows me knows that I'll talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles. But anyway, my story is that I had an educator many years ago who was ringing me and debriefing and doing all of that sort of stuff as we do. And she was talking about a little person who, was her woe for the week, her worry for the week. And she was saying how she had began to regress in her toilet training. And she was wetting herself all the time, and it was just becoming so frustrating. And, she was using that classic, she's regressing and, she's not doing what I needed to do. And it's always happening when they go to pick her up in the afternoon. And she was saying that the family had started to mention it and were becoming quite frustrated around that. So let her do her thing and have a vent and do all of that sort of stuff. And then as we started to talk, I said to her, I wonder what's happening for that little person. What's going on?
Yeah, that perfect, gorgeous question. Yeah.
Started to ask some curious questions around, what time of day it is, what's happening for her, look at the bigger picture and all of that sort of stuff. And, to start with, it was very much that, it's just when she leaves and it's just all of this. And I'm like, okay, just go away. I want you to go away and I want you to have a look at it. Have a think about what is the bigger picture for that little person, what's happening, and what's it doing for you? What's it doing for you at this point in time? Anyway, we spoke about a week later and I said, how'd you go with it all? And she said, oh my God, Jo, she said, I've really started to have a bit of a look at it. And she said, I've noticed that it's in the afternoon. It's always when she's being picked up. I've also noticed that it's changed and now Mummy's staying in the car and it's only Dad coming to the door. And it started then. And I went, okay, that's interesting. What do you think that's about? And she's like, I don't know, but she seems to be really anxious. And I said, okay, I think you need to have a little bit of a look more. I said, let's look at what could be happening. What's the bigger picture? Go away and have a think about it. What's it doing for you with that? And she said, I feel so worried that they're getting cranky at me because I'm not doing my job. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, just stop it.
It's amazing how much that can sometimes get in the way of seeing these patterns. Like, it sounds like to be able to validate that was a huge shift you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
continue. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, can talk underwater with mouthful of marbles. Yeah, so she went away again. She rang back again and she said, Joe, I think there might be something going on for this little person. I've noticed now mum's not coming to the door, dad's getting crankier. I've tried to talk to mum. There's stuff going on for mum. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little girl is quite anxious now. I think there could be CP related stuff.
Yeah.
Long story short, turns out that the relationship was breaking down due to domestic violence. Yeah. So, and the little girl was trying to use whatever way she could to say something is not right. I don't feel safe anymore. That was wetting herself.
Yeah. Something's changed for me. Something has changed in how safe that I'm feeling, and this is my best way of showing you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's right. So the educator then was able to, she actually stopped the family coming in the door because she knew it was dad that was making her anxious, and she also knew that dad was the perpetrator. She did lots of talk around, you're okay, you're safe, let's do this, let me help you. Would walk her to the door, would give her a hug, just that extra attunement and attachment and connection, and you're safe, it's okay, I'll see you tomorrow, you're going to have a great time, come back and see me, and was really able to be that anchor and that safe person.
Yeah. That's cool. I love that story, Joe. And also, like, the beautiful other thing about that is that, like, when you think about the iceberg and like a child's behavior kind of being the tip of the iceberg that we can see, and then just the amount of context and information about how safe they are that sits all underneath that. And it sounds like that educator, with your help, was kind of able to speak to that part of what was going on for her. So
that's right.
The top, and it's so tricky because the top part of the iceberg is often the part that we're reacting to. So I love how you were able to kind of help them consider, because like we're human too. Stuff's going to come up for us.
That's
so
right.
Be able to recognize it and kind of see it means that then we can step past that and into, like you said, the attunement and the real kind of like safety offer.
That's right. Like, and as educators, we're all worried of, what's that parent perception of us, and especially in a sole educator model, you are doing it all on your own. You are doing absolutely everything on your own, and you've got so much to think about every day that sometimes it is easy just to focus on the pointy end of the pointy stick, which is the wet pants when dad comes. But you forget the underneath bit, and being able to stop and reflect and really see what's happening. That's the trauma-informed practice. That's when you can actually, put on that extra hat and look after that person.
Yeah, that's it. And like you said, because it's only the one educator, like, relationships are so important.
Absolutely.
They're the be all and end all. So for them to also be able to be able to advocate for that child's needs and say, actually, this is going to be her physical safe space, and actually I'm going to say, can you wait out the front for her sake? And being able to hold that and offer that protection to that child too. Like, there's so many layers. I love that.
No, it was good.
Yeah, and kind of like, speaking on relationships as well, I'm wondering, because that story is a gorgeous story of kind of a learning for that particular educator, and for, I'm sure, many others have had very similar kind of outcomes there. But I'm wondering too, what kind of things do you think maybe educators are actually already doing that is trauma informed, that maybe without even knowing they're doing naturally, or they're doing in their practice, that they might not even realize already are trauma informed or neuro informed.
Yeah. I think I've already touched on it before, but I think the beauty of family daycare is, by default, because it's a smaller setting, we have this unique opportunity to have these much closer relationships and bonds and connections with these little people that we're with, and which naturally allows us to become more in tune to who they are, and allows us that opportunity to develop that really in-depth understanding of their interests and their needs. And then, if they're experiencing trauma or they're neurodiverse, we can understand what their sensory needs might be like, what
Yeah.
their, you know, what all their little isms are.
Yeah.
You know, you get to know that on so much more of an intimate level. And
Yeah.
then by nature, we automatically put that into our practices.
Yes. Yeah.
We automatically know that the ruggy that they need to rub,
Yeah.
because that's a self-regulation thing, goes to bed, or it comes around with them in the environment.
Yeah.
We know that they need a quiet space, so we make that in our home, because that's the beauty of family daycare. We can offer that. You know, so we do it by default because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And we don't realize it. We don't realize
No.
it.
I think that's exactly it. I feel like every time someone notices and listens to what a child needs and then adjusts their practice to that, that's trauma informed. That's neuro-informed practice. You know,
That's exactly right.
whether that child is traumatized or not,
Yep.
or neurotypical or neurodiverse or anything. Like trauma-informed practice isn't just for those children at the kind of pointy end. Like it's important for all children. Here's my cat trying to make an entrance. Yeah, like the beauty is the environment too. Like anytime that there's a setup or also like an acceptance of, oh, this food isn't a safe food for them. Or
that's right.
Today those connection needs are much higher, so let me make sure I'm
That's right.
nearby. It's all those things.
That's right. And we, you know, the EYLF talks to us about creating a sense of belonging for our children. And we do that by default through those little things, you know, through all of that little stuff. We offer our little people routine and stability through our day-to-day practices. Like, you know, the little neurodiverse children that I know and have loved, and my own children who are neurodiverse, they thrive on, this is our routine and this is our stability and this is what we do every day. And we offer that in family daycare. We offer that through being the same educator that child sees every day. We're not a revolving door of who is going to be on staff today because we've got staff shortages. It is you every day. And that's stability.
A blessing and a curse, right?
Blessing and a curse. Blessing and a curse. It's just you, but at the same time, it's you. You are the stability. You are the safe person, and the rest then flows.
Exactly. And for those little people who need that stability and safety through that one person that they know, it's a fantastic.
It's there. It's there, and you don't even realize you're doing it. So look at you go.
Exactly. Give yourself some credit. I feel like sometimes
that's it.
Trauma-informed and neuro-affirmed feels like this really big kind of list of strategies, when more often than not it's just it's attunement. It's attunement and connection and advocacy and those things. But if you're listening truly and you're present, then you're on a very good path, you know.
You're on a very good path. And then the bigger things that come with working with children like that don't seem as huge as much, because you've nailed the attunement, you've nailed the relationships, you've nailed all of those basics already, just because you do it every day.
Exactly. And in those moments, Jo, when the kind of the everyday stuff becomes more than every day, so when it's maybe harder moments, or and you're working with children who are a little bit more dysregulated, or, you know, come from a trauma background, and those moments of real like need that kind of shows up, what kind of trauma-informed principles do you come back to and return to in maybe a more like conscious way for those children who you're working with?
So a big thing that, you know, we really try and focus on, like I've said before, is stopping and taking a moment and looking at what is the bigger picture. What is it? What is it that's happening for the child? What is it that's happening for everybody else in my care? What else is happening for me? You know, so, you know, and what is happening for me is that, is it my relationships with who I've got and my support services? Is it because it's triggering something in me? What is it? What is it? So really stopping and try, as hard as reflective practice can be, sometimes all it takes is just that moment to stop and go, what is the bigger picture here? What
Yeah.
what else needs to happen?
Yeah. How
And
can I
being,
look at it? Yeah, from a
yeah,
bird's eye view. Yeah.
yeah, and being brave enough to say, I need support,
Yes.
acknowledging that you are on your own and you need a village. Everybody
Yeah.
needs a village. Yeah.
Yes, because like trauma-informed practice doesn't stop with a little person.
No,
If
that's
if
right.
what they need is you and connection and safety, then you have to be able to be there. And to
Yeah,
be there, you have to be able to look after yourself and call on those people that help you
yeah,
be there, or call
yeah,
on
yeah,
those resources that help you be there.
yeah,
Because yeah, that's it. To be able to take a bird's eye view and see what's happening for them, what might be happening for me, what
yeah,
might be happening for the family. It's like that story that you gave earlier. To be able to see the pattern was how maybe we could see, to be able to see
yeah.
the detail of, oh, it's when dad's coming to the door that seems to be making a difference.
That's right.
Um, that gives us so much more information about what that child might need, because then we can adjust it to, oh, okay, so
Yeah,
maybe it's a safe person. How
yeah,
can I
yeah.
be a safe person?
That's
Because it's,
exactly right.
yeah, it's so easy to think that it's us.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And, I think I talked about looking after yourself as well. Like when we're working with neurodiverse children and we're working with trauma, children that have experienced trauma, the vicarious trauma and all of the
Yes.
compassion fatigue and everything that we as educators can feel is real.
So
And it
real.
and it
So
creeps up.
real.
It
Yeah.
creeps up. Because looking after these little people who need extra love takes extra love from us.
Yes.
And you've really got to look after yourself. You've really got to keep in tune with that, because it could trigger stuff for yourself. It could trigger, all sorts of things, or you could just end up being really exhausted from
Yeah.
giving. We are givers. Educators are givers, and giving so much is tough, and
It
it
is
wears you.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's important to acknowledge exactly that.
yeah,
Permission for it to be hard.
yeah,
Because we don't like I talk to a lot of educators about how there's a little person who, yeah, takes a lot more connection to be able to feel regulated. And some days that's exhausting. And
yeah,
actually it's really hard to
yeah,
be their person for this many days of a week.
yeah,
And oh, they're so incredible. I want to spend time with, and their milestones are so important and
yeah,
beautiful, and I can see how incredible and smart they are. And it's really tough. And
yeah,
on some days, oh my gosh, it just takes it out of me.
yeah,
And I wouldn't change them.
yeah.
It's all of it. So like
It's all of the
we don't
things.
have to cancel one out. It doesn't have
No,
to be all good or all tricky. It
no,
can
that's
be
right.
like that's not how people
Yeah.
work.
And
you know?
sometimes those tricky little people, when they have the most amazing milestones in their life, they're the ones that stick in your brain forever, because you see
Yeah.
those moments, and it's tricky work, but sometimes it's the most rewarding.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
couldn't agree more, Joe, because it's like I feel like and this works really well as what we were going to kind of talk about as well. If we kind of cancel out our own experience of this work that we do, that you guys do, but that we do, um, it means we can't show up the same, because that's where, I think, in the presentation, we're going to talk about how trauma is about when our systems are overwhelmed and we're past coping, like we're past our bandwidth of coping.
yeah, yeah. Window of
So
tolerance. Yep, yep,
exactly, window of tolerance. So if we are past that coping point in our work with these little people who need a lot of support,
yep,
then that's going to impact our systems. Like that's
yep.
just a real thing.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean to say anyone's taking anything away from, um or that they don't have, like I hear a lot of times, yeah, but I've got it pretty easy, they're having a hard time. We can all be having a hard time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all
That's
right.
right. Yep.
Emotions are expansive, that we don't have to choose who's having a hard time.
Yeah,
um but the beauty and the difference there being that, as big people, as adults, we have the ability to ask for help, to start to notice what's going on for us and meet that with compassion.
yeah, yeah.
Because
That's right.
if you notice that things are, if we notice
Yep.
if we start to notice the things that are coming up for us, but we don't meet them with compassion, then we're just criticizing ourselves.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, being in a soul educator model, we definitely get into the habit of working in a silo where we're isolated,
Yes.
and those little bits of compassion fatigue and vicarious trauma and all of that sort of stuff, and looking after the other little people, and it takes those little bits away from us all the time. And that's where we need to as educators and as coordination units, we really need to support each other. We need to be there. We need to expand our village and really rely on those resources that we've got around us, so that we can be the best people that we can be for those people who need us the most. And that's the little people we care for. Like that's,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Because we don't grow out of needing connection.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We don't grow out of that. That's always a real thing. No. So with all the ways that, with all the things going on in the world, in the sector, there's a lot of pressure on a lot of people in a lot of spaces, especially family daycare. And so, we talked about self-compassion. We talked about being able to kind of give yourself permission to look after yourself, to reach out. And then, when we're talking about trauma-informed practice, rather than it being this big cloud or this big kind of concept, if we bring it right down to like what's practical at the moment with the level of demands that everybody's got in their world, what's kind of one small move that that educators can take towards trauma-informed / neuro-informed / attuned practice?
Yeah. I think my educators will all nod their heads and say the one thing that I always say is, when the world gets too big, pump the brakes, stop, and just play. Just go back to the very core reason why you are there in the first place. You started in this industry because you love being with children. So if nothing else, if it's all too big, find Play-Doh. Dance and sing, do whatever it is that you need to do to make life simple and joyful for everyone. Just play, just be. The rest will come. It's okay. Just be. Just play.
Exactly. Yeah. And the beauty of everything that we've spoken about in this whole presentation, and you and I as well, is that play, funnily enough, is perhaps the most regulating thing that you can do. True play of being present, of being, having some humility, sends signals to your nervous system that you're safe. You're safe.
And it fills you with joy.
Exactly.
To be silly and to play brings those endorphins that we all need. It brings, all the serotonin and all the good things when you can just smile and laugh and play and be. And what an amazing healing thing that is when we've all got so much trauma and hecticness happening in the world. Just play and be, the rest will follow.
That's it. There's nothing more precious than those things,
That's it. We've got this small window of time where we can play, and children can play with innocence and freedom. So just do it.
Oh, I love that, Jo. Let's just end it there.
Yeah,
gorgeous. Thank you so much for chatting with me. Like, it's been
absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
It's absolute pleasure.